They say devotion is insanity because it takes a lot of courage to lose yourself entirely to find something far bigger. And the irony is, to talk to you about devotion or bhakti, I have to be logical enough and not lose myself as a devotee. Let's begin the ride. It's gonna be fun. I think I was in 8th standard when there was a whole chapter dedicated to Mirabai's poems in our Hindi textbook. And I got stuck with one of the poems so deeply. It was Payo Ji Maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. I used to read that whole poem again and again and try to understand with what emotions and feelings Mirabai must have written those lines. If you have heard or read the poem, you must know there are words like Bhavasagar and Sadhguru in it. And I used to think, what is a Bhavasagar? Who is a Sadhguru? And how can he help somebody cross this Bhavasagar? It is only when I became an Isha meditator, when I was able to decipher what she could possibly mean. I know most of you have not seen that devoted side of me because I have kept it hidden deliberately. But today I want to confess that I am devoted to Sadhguru, and whatever I am doing is just for him. With that, let's see what the person I am devoted to says about devotion.
Devotion is not only the sweetest way to be, it is also the highest form of intelligence. But people who claim to be devotees usually happen to be a bunch of idiots. So, people who think they're intelligent always strive to stay away from any form of devotion. Devotion does not mean going to the temple, mosque or church and doing a particular form of ritual. Devotion simply means that in your life, whichever moment in your life when you're aware that there is something larger than yourself functioning around you, there is no other way, you will be devout. When you're overwhelmed, if you are sensitive enough, if you're intelligent enough, if you're sensible enough to see that something far bigger than you is constantly in function, then you're naturally a devotee. There is no other way to be. You may not be bowing down, you may not be performing a ritual, you may not be sitting in a temple, you may not be doing any of those standard things which are expected. You may be not dressed like one. Maybe your clothes are not printed with God's name. Maybe you never uttered God's name in your mouth. But if you're aware, if you're conscious that something far larger than you is in function right now, you are naturally a devotee. There is no other way to be.
What I could figure out about Mirabai was that she was in utter pain because of the distance from her object of devotion. But at the same time, she had the sweetest of emotions for her object of devotion, which was, of course, Krishna. Now, why doesn't devotion appeal to logical minds? What is logic? Logic is a tool to measure, analyze, and understand the world, but it has its limits. Devotion takes you beyond those limits. It is not about blind beliefs. It is about profound openness to life. Just like music or art cannot be explained fully by logic, yet it touches us deeply, similarly, devotion is an experience which logic cannot capture. I hope devotion touches you also someday, the way it has touched me. Namaskaram.
सत की नाव खिवटिया सतगुरु भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन